Having a child doesn't mean you know how to be a parent. If you haven't got support, role models or a good experience of childhood to fall back on, it's especially tough. An intensive program helping people at risk of losing their children to the child protection system is reporting incredible success. In one case, it's been so successful, child protection orders have been dropped after 19 years. Despite the success, the program can only help about 20 families a year, but there are hopes of expansion, budget permitting.
I was pregnant and I was homeless and I was living at a women's shelter.
Heidi fled an abusive relationship. With no money, no family and no support, she hit rock bottom.
At that time I was very distressed and I suffered depression and post-traumatic stress disorder.
With mental health issues and in the latter stages of pregnancy, Heidi was admitted to hospital. During that time, she contemplated giving her baby up for adoption.
My fears around parenting Hope was whether I could cope with a newborn baby because I was dealing with my own issues. But I've successfully done that. And part of that success was going to Newpin, getting linked in there.
The New Parent and Information Network, known as Newpin, is an intensive therapeutic program working with families with potential or actual child protection issues. Heidi's confidence slowly grew.
It's a home-like environment and they teach you educational modules and there's other women that you can talk to. And I thought it was just a place that I needed.
That was 4.5 years ago.
Set some goals for myself and achieve those, one of which was losing weight, going to university, parenting my daughter.
And you've done all those three things?
Yeah.
Heidi's at the University of Tasmania doing a law degree. Annette is partway through the Newpin program with her 2-year-old daughter.
You've had a long history, have you, with Child and Family Services?
Yeah, 9.5 years.
Annette has 8 other children.
Where are your other children?
They're in care.
Child and Family Services referred her to Newpin.
My daughter's no longer on her orders anymore, so they're obviously seeing some change. Yeah.
Do you put that down to what you've learned through the Newpin program?
Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Uniting Care brought Newpin to Australia after seeing its success in the United Kingdom.
It was identified by a child health nurse who was seeing mothers in the bottom of the large housing complexes in the UK, and it was she noticed that there were a lot of mums who had postnatal depression, were lonely, were socially isolated, they had no support structures.
The basis of the program is that parenting isn't something you just know how to do, and it aims to break sometimes generations of abuse.
You do what was done to you or what you've observed. So if it was to be shouted at or told to shut up or being put in a cupboard or burnt with a cigarette or having a Chinese burn done on your arm, then you will do that if you don't know what else to do.
Newpin teaches different parenting techniques.
They've never had those core values role modelled to them. So we get lost. So the value of children gets lost in that cycle. And Newpin raises the awareness of the value of children.
What was your childhood like?
Not very good at all. I was always in and out of foster care.
The program is intensive and expensive. There are centre-based courses and an outreach service which goes into the clients' homes. It takes between 12 and 18 months and costs around $25,000 per family.
Conversely, Child Protection tell us that to have one single child in out-of-home care can cost up to $300,000. So even though we're an expensive program on that side of the ledger, we would see that we're actually a very cheap option in terms of the outcomes that we achieve.
Lindy O'Neill says they have about a 90% success rate.
We've got magnificent stories where we've had letters back from Child Protection saying after 19 years that there are no more child protection issues in a family.
It's the Family Play program.
Demand for the program is greater than the capacity to deliver.
There is a waiting list. We have a very close relationship with Child Protection. Child Protection refer a lot of their families to us. And we're working with a lot of our families, we're working with third generation wards of state.
Uniting Care would like to work with detainees in the Ashley Youth Detention Centre.
Because some of the people who are in Ashley now are already young parents, and so they're on the beginning of the next cycle.
Maintaining the current program is their greatest concern because funding runs out in June.
I know that DHHS has been asked to find savings along with everyone else, and so we're not certainly sitting here feeling very safe or comfortable right now.
One Newpin program, which is safe, is working with inmates at Risdon Prison. It's been funded by Uniting Care and began last year. Nathan was in jail when his son Isaiah was born.
I've been in jail most of his life, except for the last 5 months. So, and he's been the biggest factor in my rehabilitation.
On his last sentence, Nathan spent more than 2 years in jail for violent crimes.
The law had no choice but to take away my freedom, and I accept that. That's on me, and now I've made the decision to make sure that it never happens again.
While doing his time, he studied psychology through Monash University and a range of certificates, including disability support and drug and alcohol work. Doing the Newpin course toward the end of his sentence, Nathan says the penny dropped.
It really hit home how we were treated and what happened to us, whether we want that to happen to our children.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
After his release, Nathan was able to see his son for about 2 hours a week. That's now increased to 3 full days, and this week was his first overnight visit.
How did it go?
Fantastic.
Did you get much sleep?
No, none at all. Well, I did a little bit. He stayed up until 10 because he was just too excited. So we laid down on the couch and we watched Finding Nemo together, and put him to bed, and down he went again. It was fantastic. And then he was up at 20 to 6 this morning, so it was great.
The rest of the time, his son is in foster care, but Nathan hopes to be his full-time parent by the middle of the year.
We're building a brilliant bond, and things are going fantastic.